Okay, I bought a Kiesel guitar, hey! And that's the guitar you're looking at right now. I wanted to go over some of the specs, some of the thought processes I went through when building this guitar. Because I have a lot of very idiosyncrasies that I like. I'm not sponsored by Kiesel. I just thought I'd buy a guitar from them because I don't hear really anything super negative about them. So, let's see. I made this guitar, man. Look at this. It's so pretty. Alright, so I'll go through all of the little details and reasons why I picked certain things. If you don't like that kind of video, you can downvote it and leave now. That's fine. Let's go through some of the reasons why I did what I did. So, the Aries. Now, I went with the Aries because it is cheap, but also because the A2 has the jack in the rear, which I'm not a huge fan of. Now, I've seen some of them with jacks on the rear and on the bottom, but I don't know if that's standard. Kiesel doesn't make that common knowledge, but I just went with the Aries anyways because it matches this style of guitar. So the reason why I'm using this guitar as an example is I want this guitar with a floating tremolo. I want this guitar but with the floating tremolo. Not an Evertune and not a Floyd Rose. I hate getting out the Allen wrench. I don't want to do any of that. Since this is hip shot, I can just put the strings straight through the back. So this guitar is what I modeled my new guitar over, and it's very similar. As you can see, it's pretty similar in body shape and even in headstock design. This is pretty similar. It's almost the same guitar, but it's different. There are things about this guitar that are different than that, and vice versa. So I went with this design. I thought it looked pretty cool. So dexterity. I'm a right-handed guitar player. Strings, 6 strings, obviously. Multi-scale, I don't like multi-scale. Scale length, just normal scale length. Case, I just got a soft bag. I don't really care about cases because I have all my guitars in stands around my apartment. Body options. I went with the bevel because it's more comfortable. See, this guitar doesn't have a bevel. Well, I guess it does. It's rounded right here where you put your arm. Just pretty comfortable. So this one has it even more beveled. It's probably going to be even more comfortable. Who knows? The wood that I went with for the body is mahogany. So this guitar, if you know what guitar this is the Ibanez 321 MH, which stands for mahogany wood. This is a mahogany wood guitar. At least that's what Ibanez is saying, because this has an actual top on it. This is a mahogany top. And it looks like the wood that's underneath is also mahogany. It could be lying to me. The rear does look like mahogany, and it scratches up, and there's no top on this at all. But why did anybody in the comments know why they would put a thin layer mahogany veneer on top of a mahogany guitar? Because this is like raw tone basically, but it's just straight up flat mahogany. But it's very obviously a veneer because it's peeling up on the top. So it's like a mahogany top on a mahogany guitar. Why did they do that? I don't know. I don't know why they did that. I have no fucking clue. So I went with mahogany for the body. That's a big thing that I like. But I went with a zebra wood top because to me it looks really cool with a zebra wood top. Let's go over the reason why I went with zebra wood. Now I could have gone flamed, and I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, why didn't you go with flamed?" Well, I don't like how the grain goes kind of like this. You know, you've got two pieces, right? You got this piece and this piece, just to kind of make it symmetrical. I'm not a huge fan of that. This just looks like all of it's going straight across. Now, I don't know if they do that intentionally. I don't even know if it's going to look like this when I get it. But, I mean, I'm going to do the whole shebang. I'm going to do the whole review. I'm going to tell you all of the good things, all of the bad things about this guitar. But we're going to go through all of that. Logo, I thought I'd go with the cheapo, kind of 3D looking logo right there. That was pretty cool. The top coat, I actually went with clear gloss. I like my gloss guitar over there. I think it feels nice. And the last 4 guitars I've had have been gloss. Now, I could have gone with like a raw material, but the raw tone guitars actually use like a raw tone kind of oil on it, and it doesn't feel like this. This feels just like straight up, like this is just like I am feeling the mahogany wood. There is nothing protecting this at all. Like I have to use like wood finishes to keep it alive, you know, soaked in and everything, staying alive. And I can't live in super cold, non-humid environments, like really dry, humid environments, because this would probably die. However, I like gloss guitars, so I went with gloss. I could have gone satin, but I don't want to do anything weird that I don't know. Let's go back to finish real quick. I went with fade. I went so that the back, all of the mahogany that you see is going to be black from them. To me, it looks kind of cool. Black, and then it goes into a burst that shows the mahogany on the back, dude. I love that. That's so sick. I love that. It's so cool because you get 2 completely different guitars in one. Like the rear just looks 100% different than the front. I wanted to go with that style because it looks cool. I didn't go with any binding. I am a anti-binding guy. This guitar has a binding on the neck, and it's already tearing up because this guitar is 16 years old or 17 years old. The binding's starting to become a problem, and it doesn't become a problem if you don't have a binding in the first place. So I didn't want to do binding. Spider finishes look kind of stupid to me. I didn't want, like, you know, special type bodies. To me, I don't care what the body's made out of. As long as the wood is, you know, the type of wood that I selected. So the neck I went with walnut because all of the photos that I've seen, these Kiesel guitars with walnut backs, they almost look like flamed, almost look like really dark roasted maple, but it's not roasted maple. So I'm like, let's do it. I have a roasted maple neck over here on my Ibanez guitar, so I just didn't really want to go with the same thing just to keep it fresh. I could have gone black limbo, but I didn't. I went with a thinner neck profile. I'm an Ibanez player, obviously. I'm gonna go with a thinner neck profile. Especially these Wizard 3 necks. This neck is super thin. Like it's so thin that like if I put my hand like this, if I try to keep my hand as flat as possible when I go back here, there's still areas where air can go through. It's just that flat. This is almost as flat as it gets. I think this is a D. This is the original Wizard 3, which is a little different than the newer Wizard 3. That's a newer Wizard 3 guitar, and I like the feel of the neck. But this is kind of more at home for me. I went with a thinner neck. Fingerboard wood. I spent a lot of time thinking about fingerboard wood, and then at the end of it all, I said, I don't care. I just don't, as long as the color's right. Like fingerboard wood does not matter. Now I was looking online whether or not I should go with Richlight, because I mean it looks like I'm getting somewhat of a deal with Richlight. But all of the reviews and all of the photos that I've seen of Richlight boards that are black like this, they look like they like soak in your finger oil and you can just see it. And I don't want to see fingerboard oils. Like I want my fingerboard oil, I want my finger oil to go straight into the wood and not show like every single time I play the guitar. I don't want to have to clean the fretboard like every single time I change strings. To me, that's just weird. To me, that's weird. I didn't go Rich Light for that decision, for that choice. Maple, I could have gone Maple. Maple looks cool. Rosewood, I have a Rosewood neck. Don't really care. Not doesn't matter that much to me, so I just went with Ebony. Fingerboard radius, 14. Now, I was thinking about going 20. But this guitar right here has a compound neck. And I think all Wizard 3s have a compound. It's a strange radius. I think it's like 14 to 16 and a half. But I have a Fender Stratocaster that's like a 9.5, and I have no problems playing that. So I didn't want to go 20 because that seems like it might be maybe too flat. So 14 to me sounds pretty reasonable. That sounds pretty reasonable. It would be pretty similar to this. As similar as I could get it. Staggered offset rings, because I think that looks cool. Like where they're like offset like that. I don't really look down at my guitar when I play that often. Hey, baby. I do for the videos because I don't want to look at the screen. Inlay materials, don't really care as long as I can see it. Mother of Pearl is the most visible, material I could get there. Frets went with stainless jumbo frets because every guitar that I've liked in my life has had jumbo frets. I've never had stainless steel frets before, so this is gonna be a new one. Everybody says they love them, so that's gonna be a new thing for me. My Fender Stratocaster does not have jumbo frets, and I think that's part of the reason why I don't like it so much. It's hard to connect with frets. It doesn't feel right to me, and I think that's part of the reason why I didn't like the Fender Strat that much. The neck's finished with tongue wood. Fine. I went with a standard neck because that looks really close to Ibanez. Very similar. Very, very similar. Head overlay, I went with the same design that this has. Same design. I don't care about that. To me, that doesn't matter. You can scallop the neck, which electronics, I went with passive because I like to hear my guitar. 2 humbuckers because that's my thing. A bridge, I went with the Holdsworth because I looked at some reviews on like the differences between the pickups, and I like the Holdsworth more on the bridge. In the neck, I went with lithium because it's more chimey. Looking for that chimey kind of neck sound, not super warm. I'm not a huge super warm neck. I went with the black pole pieces, which is cool. I went with all standard hardware stuff there. I went with the Kiesel / hipshot. I'm pretty sure it's just a regular hip. I don't know why they have Kiesel there. Black on black on black on black. Everything black on black on black. Now, this one's going to be controversial, and I'm going to go off on a tangent. I like 9 gauge strings. I like 9 gauge strings. Okay? Get off me. I'm tired of hurting my fingers. I've played. It's like psychological warfare. I love playing guitar. It's not a chore for me. Strings, believe it or not, have come a long way. A long way. Manufacturing strings is way better than it used to be. That's why I've switched back to 9. I started guitar with 9s, and I played with 9s for like 2.5 years, and then I went to 10s. And I've been on 10 gauge strings for like 14 or 13 full years, and I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of it. I went back to 9s about 3 months ago, and I'll never go back. Why? Why would I go back? Some of your favorite metal bands, like some of your like. Some of your favorite metal bands play with 9s. I know you might be like, no, They play with 11s, actually. Yeah, they might play with 11s when they're live and, they're down tuned even lower than what they are in the studio, but they probably play with 9. 9 gauge strings have completely changed compared to what they were like 10 years ago. Because, like, literally, I'm not having any problems with stability anymore. I used to have problems with stability on 9 gauge strings. I used to have packets of 9 gauge strings, like packets of these where some of them wouldn't be made correctly or right. Well, now you can get 7 gauge strings and they're like, so gauge strings doesn't matter. If you like 10s, you like 10. That's fine. I like 10s for 13 years. I'm just changing to 9s. Strap buttons, don't care. Don't ever use straps. Don't ever use tuner buttons that need to be colored or anything like that. Electronics, don't care about the cover stuff. So that's what I'm going with, man. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. I don't know, man. New strings, man. Just feels weird. Alright. Thanks for coming along and watching the video. I don't make money off of my videos. I just make them. Like it if you like it. Dislike it if you like it. Tell me my hair looks like shit. My cat is biting my foot. I'll see you later.